Coming up on this episode of Rebel Report, the home opener was at Allegiant Stadium. Let's see how the Rebels did against in-state rivalry UNR.
Also, the Raiders bounced back after a tough loss at home against the Buccaneers.
Here's another opportunity for you to support UNLV athletics. Welcome to Studio B on the campus of UNLV. This is the Rebel Report. I'm Corey Barnes.
And I'm Matt Atencio. Before we dive into the local sports news of the week, we want to tell you what we're all about and what we hope to give you watching at home.
Every week for a half hour, we will cover UNLV athletics, the games, the events, the athletes, and coaches.
But we're also here to cover all major sporting events happening in Southern Nevada and tell you stories you won't see anywhere else.
Let's begin with our top story. The Rebels took on in-state rivals UNR. Our Rebel Report's Ashley Dickinson has the story.
Happy Halloween and Nevada Day. Tonight is history in the making as the Rebels make their debut at Allegiant Stadium. And on this day, 156 years ago, Nevada officially became a state. These two collegiate teams in the state of Nevada will be battling for the Fremont Cannon, one of the heaviest trophies in college football. Now the Rebels are looking to bounce back off of a loss against San Diego State, and the Wolfpack are looking to carry over that momentum from that overtime win on Wyoming. Now Carson Strong has yet to get a win over the Rebels, but with a strong performance from a player of the week, that might be what the Wolfpack needs to get the W. UNLV Athletics announced they would allow 2,000 fans for home games at Allegiant Stadium. The Rebels started out with a sack on Carson Strong, but they were not able to keep the pressure up throughout the game. A bright spot on the offense was the running of Charles Williams, with an impressive 99 yards of rushing for the game. In the third quarter, as the pocket was collapsing, Gilliam escaped the rush, and with a few nice cuts, was able to make it into the end zone. Unfortunately, the Rebels lost the big rivalry game. But here's what Coach Arroyo had to say on Max Gilliam's performance.
Max has done a nice job getting better each week, and so this has got to be another week for him to have an opportunity to go out there and grow from it, and continue to build. So
The Rebels face off against the Fresno State Bulldogs this Saturday in the team's first afternoon game. Rebel Report's Matt Atencio looks at the preview for the game.
This Saturday, the Rebels return home to face the 1-1 Fresno State Bulldogs. The game comes just 1 week removed from the Rebels' disappointing loss to in-state rival UNR and the forfeiture of the Fremont Cannon. The last time these two teams faced off, the game wasn't even close. The Rebels battled Fresno State last year and lost 56-26. The Rebels face another tough challenge with the Bulldogs, who come off a 38-17 victory over the Colorado State Rams last Thursday in convincing fashion.
They do a nice job. Rivers does a real nice job. The defense got some guys who can really play. They play hard. They don't do much. They do it well. Offensively, the quarterback's playing well, and he's a gunslinger, and so he's gonna have a heck of a time. We got a heck of a time. Make sure we're planning for all what they're gonna do. So they do a nice job. We've got to make sure we're doing ours.
The Rebels' defense will again be called on to slow down another high-producing offense. Jake Hayner threw for 311 yards and 3 touchdowns in his last outing against Colorado State. Seeing as the Rebels gave up multiple plays over 20 yards against the Wolfpack last week, their job will not get any easier, and the secondary will once again be called upon to lock down the receivers. The Rebels' defense will also have to contend with dual-threat running back Ronnie Rivers, who leads the team in rushing yards and is 4th in receiving yards.
I mean, we can put the running back as part of a weapon both in the run and pass game. I think that's ideally what you want from any offense. The ability for that guy to be multiple is definitely a weapon. They do a good job with him. He's a really good player.
The Rebels' offense needs to do 2 things. First, run the ball and run the ball effectively. Fresno State's defense, on average, is allowing 236 yards rushing per game. With the Rebels averaging just over 100 yards per game, this task should not prove to be too difficult. Second, they need to find a way to convert on third down. The Rebels are only converting on 19% of their third down conversions, which is abysmal to say the least. Running the ball effectively on first and second down in this game will help alleviate that issue. The game kicks off this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. at Allegiant Stadium. Be sure to follow our social media and website for instant reactions. Reporting for Rebel Report, I'm Matt Atencio. UNLV isn't the only Mountain West school practicing here in town. Several local media outlets report that the New Mexico Lobos football team will practice at Sam Boyd Stadium for the foreseeable future due to the COVID-19 pandemic. UNLV is providing student housing for the team while they are here. New Mexico athletics officials say that new residency will only be on a week-to-week basis. Until protocols in their home state change, the Lobos' next home game, scheduled for November 14th against UNR, could be played here.
UNLV Rebels speak out and are in support of a social justice change initiative. Let's take a closer look at this moment. UNLV's Student Advisory Committee has recently announced its support of the social justice initiative Change. Each athletic team will have the option to wear a helmet sticker or jersey patch on their uniform that says United, Equality, or Change. The initiative Change stands for Come Together, Have a Voice, Advocate, Not Alone, Growth, and Engagement. A 6-member SAAC subcommittee pushed forward with the student-driven initiative and expressed what the movement means to them.
Hi, I'm Marvin Coleman II from the UNLV Running Rebels. Have a voice means that everyone should be able to speak up and voice their opinions and their concerns and know that someone's listening. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everyone's not always going to agree with each other, but just knowing that you have a voice and you have people to speak to and that your voice is always going to be heard.
Although the design for the helmet stickers and patches are created by football student athlete Darren Williams, the Change acronym was originally created by men's swimmer Casey McAnn. UNLV Rebel leaders further expressed how they can best represent their athletic team with this initiative.
Hi, my name is Bailey Thomas and I'm on the UNLV women's basketball team. Advocate means being able to speak up on behalf of somebody else. When you or I see something, we say something when we need to.
The UNLV football team wore an equality sticker on its helmets for the first athletic game of the season. Make sure to catch the next game on November 7th against Fresno State to see which sticker they debut. Make sure to keep up with our social media pages for the latest. This week, UNLV Athletics announced a new partnership with one of their newest neighbors. The Raider image will replace Barnes & Noble. As the official merchandise vendor of UNLV Athletics, UNLV Athletic Director Desiree Reed-Francois says it was important to make sure the needs of Rebel fans were met. She believes the Raider image will take Rebel merchandise to a whole new level. There are several Raider image stories across Las Vegas, including at Allegiant Stadium and Town Square.
After a tough loss at home against the Buccaneers, with multiple starters out due to COVID-19, the Raiders look to get back on track against the Browns. The Raiders and Browns played an old-school, grinded-out type game last Sunday in Cleveland. Temperatures were in the 40s and winds were swirling around 35 miles per hour. Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield combined for 234 yards in the air. Josh Jacobs carried the ball 31 times for 129 yards. The score was tied at 6 apiece until Carr found Hunter Renfrow on a 4-yard touchdown pass. This turned out to be the only touchdown in the game. The Raiders put the game on ice after another Carlson field goal late in the fourth quarter.
Really made a big deal out of it. We kind of enjoyed it. I think our guys look forward to the challenge of the weather more than anything. And we ran the ball a lot of different ways, from a single back set, from a 2-back set, double tight end set. Derek Carr even got involved. But it was a great job of protecting the football and running the ball and possessing the ball, which was a key ingredient in winning. When you were going one direction, you were with the wind, and then maybe you were against the wind, but the wind was against everybody, Cleveland and Las Vegas, all day today.
The final race of the NASCAR season happens this weekend in Phoenix. Rebel Report's Kenny Jemison gives us a closer look at the championship battle.
Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, and Joey Logano will all go to battle this weekend for the chance to be crowned as NASCAR's next champion. Going into the final race, Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin are the favorites to come out victorious, despite Joey Logano having the best average finish and a win at Phoenix this season. Brad Keselowski has shown power at flat tracks though, winning at both New Hampshire and Richmond earlier in the season. Chase Elliott, on the other hand, has the momentum leading into this week after winning his way into the championship race last weekend at Martinsville Speedway. Elliott arguably had the best car in the first race at Phoenix, leading the most laps and having the second highest driver rating behind Kevin Harvick. After a turn of events at Martinsville, Kevin Harvick was eliminated from the playoffs, despite being one of the favorites for the championship and winning 9 races this season.
You know, look, these championships aren't like winning like Petty and Earnhardt used to win them. You have to, put them together 3 weeks at a time. And, it comes down to one race, and it came down to one race for us tonight and came up short.
Make sure to catch the race this Sunday at 3 p.m. on NBC, and stay tuned to Rebel Report's Twitter for results following the race. Reporting for Rebel Report, I'm Kenny Jemison.
Fight fans, we got another big boxing matchup for you this next weekend. Terrence Crawford will take on Kell Brook in a welterweight championship match. Here's Andre Paraiso with a closer look.
Crawford returns to the ring almost 1 year after his last fight against the Mean Machine. The Omaha native won his first welterweight belt against Jeff Horn 2 years ago by way of TKO. Crawford is also one of the top pound-for-pound fighters and looks to continue his journey on being an undisputed welterweight champion. Brook has fought this year back in February, defeating Mark DeLuca for the WBO Intercontinental Super Welterweight title. The British native was a welterweight champion before losing the IBF welterweight title belt to Errol Spence Jr. by knockout. Both fighters will be fighting for Crawford's WBO welterweight title on November 14th. The location has yet to be finalized, but Vegas and Omaha, Nebraska are potential options. From Rebel Report, I'm Andre Paraiso.
Coming up on the rundown, Ashley Dickinson and I discuss the Lady Rebels and their new coach.
Jordan Bell with the turnaround jumper.
It doesn't matter how you say it, as long as you say it often. Praise your child at least 4 times for every time you correct them, and you'll be on your way to raising a confident, caring kid. 4-to-1 Praise is just one of the many parenting tools from the experts at Boys Town. Visit boystown.org/praise to receive your 10 Ways to Praise magnet. It's a great reminder to keep it positive and that helpful parenting advice is just a click away.
I'm here at the Man in the Basin where the Aces are down.
Speedway, left more than your current city national. With a majority of the regulars working out, Jim Mary's
Coming into the and let's take a look at what they have to say. What does it mean for you to be selected to represent?
The Lady Rebels are gearing up for a new season with a brand new coach. Joining me to talk about what's ahead is Ashley Dickinson. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, how are you?
I'm good. So, what information can you tell us about the new Lady Rebels head coach? What's her background, anything like that?
Lindy LaRocque is something special for the the Lady Rebels. She actually played in the Pac-12, which is one of the best leagues in college basketball. She also became the assistant head coach for the Stanford and helped them to an 87-22 record. She's looking to bring a new direction, nothing but great and positivity to the Lady Rebels.
Who are some of the players that you think we should look at during the season?
So we actually have a set of sisters on the team. We have senior Bailey Thomas, who actually got Defensive Player of the Year last year. And then her sister is actually a redshirt freshman. So Jade Thomas. And I think it's going to be great to look at the two of them and see that they have this natural chemistry just because they are sisters. And I think that will carry over onto the field and we'll see a lot of, big plays happening from the two of the Thomas sisters.
Is their team currently in the process of rebuilding?
I definitely think so, just with, COVID-19 here, setting every athletic program back, as well as, she's a new head coach coming into the team. She's probably trying to instill a new offense and defense. So I think there's going to be a lot of moving parts this season, but, what's wrong with the
I think with
new
her
direction?
background, she's very credible. She should be able to really build relationships with the women on the team and really bring them to hopefully, victory. What do you think?
No, definitely. She played in the Pac-12. She was a Las Vegas native, actually at Durango High School, setting a record for the boys and girls with a 2,783 record, or 678 points record. She has a lot of experience, and I think with her type of resume, these girls are going to be way better than what we saw in the past few years.
Do you think fans will potentially be able to attend the games? I mean, hopefully, due to protocols, but...
I mean, this pandemic is kind of ruining everything. However, we did see UNLV Athletics did allow 3% of fans into Allegiant Stadium. Might be a little bit different since the Thomas and Mack is a little bit, closed in and all that, but I don't see why not we wouldn't see fans at the games.
Who are some of the players that we should really keep an eye on during the season?
I would say the Thomas sisters. One of them, Bailey Thomas, is a senior. She actually got Defensive Player of the Year. And then her sister, who's actually a freshman, Jade Thomas. I think, with their natural, connection, I think we're going to be able to see that develop and play out onto the field. So I'm excited.
Usually siblings, they have a little rivalry going and everything like that. But do you think they'll really be able to work together and just really, feed off of each other? Do you think that'll be the outcome of that?
Definitely. I mean, I see it with the Fresno State team and the two twins there. They just work so well together. And I think when you can bring someone in that you've kind of watched play your whole entire life, you know what they want, you know how they play, so you'll be able to feed them the ball whichever way they need it.
Who do you think might be a tough opponent, or some of their toughest opponents they may face this upcoming season, and why?
That's a tough one. I just like that sister rivalry, so I'm going to go with Fresno State.
Fresno State. That would be a great game. Hopefully you'll cover that game and that we might see it on Rebel Report.
Yes,
you would definitely be interested in that and possibly begin an interview with the head coach.
Exactly, yeah. That would be great.
The Lady Rebels tip off conference play on New Year's Eve, taking on rival New Mexico. Coming up, Danny Smythe has an exclusive interview with UNLV's bowling head coach.
That's it for today's class. Your assignment for tonight is to watch Rebel Report.
What's Rebel Report?
Ever heard about the best sports news program in Nevada?
Nah.
They cover everything sports in Southern Nevada.
I thought everything was canceled.
Nah, the Mountain West is bringing back football, baby, and UNR's got a scary matchup against the Rebels at the new Allegiant Stadium.
Didn't you guys throw down last year?
Yeah, there was a fight last year, but you know what? We won the fight, and we smacked them.
We gotta get revenge this year then. I really want to see what you guys have to say about it on Rebel Report.
Yeah, you're gonna want to tune into this one.
What about other Las Vegas sports?
We got you covered on every sport, from the Raiders to MMA to the Aces to Golden Knights, boxing, you name it, we got you covered.
If I miss the show and it airs on Channel 2?
Hey, if you miss the show, don't worry about it. All of our shows are going to be posted on YouTube and Facebook, so you can watch it anytime, anywhere.
The lanes are open, the balls are rolling, and UNLV Bowling is getting going.
Danny Smythe frames it up for us.
I'm here with the coach of UNL Bowling, Dallas Leong. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Trying to stay safe and stay indoors as much as possible.
Absolutely. That's great to hear. So I wanted to bring you on and interview you because you guys have a pretty big weekend coming up this November 7th and 8th. UNLV Bowling is holding their tryouts for the team. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is normally we try and kick off our seasons in September, but as most of 2020, everything's been postponed or delayed. But we finally got the go ahead, and we're going to try and start up our season and try and rally up some kids to start the bowling team. It's going to be this Saturday and Sunday, November 7th and 8th. You have to attend both days. but we're just looking for a couple more athletes to join the team.
Do you guys have any particular tournament or teams that might be participating in the tournament that you circle and you kind of look forward to playing that tournament or those teams?
The two events we always look forward to is our tournaments that we host in January. It's usually either the last weekend or the weekend before that of January. We host it at the Orleans. And that's always an exciting one for us because, A, we don't have to travel, and we kind of get that home field advantage. The second is the Hoosier Classic, which is in Indianapolis, and that's the biggest collegiate event of the year. There's well over 80 teams that participate, and it really kind of shows where you stand in the nation, and it's really exciting. Plus, we get to travel, so that's always a plus.
And with everything going on coming from last semester with the interruption all the way up to now, you said you had just gotten the go-ahead a little bit ago. What has been the challenges as far as COVID goes with being able to practice, or how did it affect your season at all last year, if it did?
Well, last season it affected it very drastically. We flew to Dallas for our postseason event. We landed and found out that the event was canceled. But yeah, safety has been the hardest part of it all, and the distancing, because bowling lanes are obviously very close together.
Yeah.
Our bowling team has 8 people on it plus 2 coaches, so that's 10 people in a very small area. So it's been very challenging to get that spacing between the people. And within the bowling center, they've only allowed you to use 1 lane, and there's a maximum of people that could be in the bowling center. But our governor changed the regulations 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that's when more people could be added to the bowling center, so we can safely now spread out and practice with the team and have our tryouts and everything.
Where can people go to find out more information, either on the tryouts or just your season as a whole, or just the bowling team as a whole? Do you guys have social media?
We do. We have Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You should be able to find it just surfing in the search bar, UNLV Bowling. We also have a website, which is www.unlvbowling.org. And on there we post our schedule, the people on the team. We try and do a little bio about them. We post past results, and just try and post some more pictures so that people can see, these are the people on the team, this is stuff we're doing, we're traveling. And I mean, above all, it's a really fun thing to do in your college career, college experience.
Thank you for taking this time out and being part of this interview with me. I greatly appreciate it.
Not a problem. Nice meeting you. And if anyone knows any bowlers, send them my way.
Absolutely. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
If you can't make it out to tryouts this weekend, don't worry. The bowling team will be holding another round of tryouts in January. Don't forget to follow UNLV Bowling on social media for all of their latest updates. Up next, this week's pizza review takes us to a popular chain.
One bite, we all know the rule. Our Steven Yance has a review for Hungry Howie's.
All right, Andre. We're at Hungry Howie's flavored crust pizza. Pizza review time. One bite, everyone knows the rules. Let's open this up. It's burning my hand, man. It's really hot. That looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
It's really hot. I might have to wait for this to cool down a little bit. Let's wait like 5 minutes.
5 hours later.
You got some nice cheese action coming off there. You feel? Flop. You got some flop, not too bad. Let's see how it is. Pretty good. Nice cheese action there.
There's a lot of cheese coming out of there.
Oh yeah. One bite, everyone knows the rules. I mean, it's good, but I've had better for sure. Kind of reminds me of a little Chuck E. Cheese pizza, I'm not gonna lie.
It's bringing back childhood memories.
Yeah. I mean, the sauce is not very flavorful. I'll give it let's go with the 5.6.
Not bad.
And that's a review.
The UNLV community has started to get into the giving spirit. This will be the 3rd annual toy drive hosted by UNLV. Come bring in the holiday cheer to children who live in the neighborhoods surrounding UNLV. Here are some of the items on the wish lists for Amazon. Your gift will be mailed directly to the Boys and Girls Club. Collections end December 18th, 2020. That will do it for this episode of the Rebel Report.
Have a great weekend and be safe.